Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Talking Halos. I am your host today, Jared Timms. I am joined alongside one of the newest acquisitions from the Angels, signed to a minor league deal this offseason, hometown guy as well. We'll talk about that in a second. Zack Weiss. Zack, how you doing?
Good, Jared. Thank you very much for having me.
I'm excited. I appreciate you coming on, taking the time, talking a little bit, let the fans get to know you a little bit. It's going to be a
Yeah.
blast. So, how's the offseason going? First off.
It's been good. I'm here. I'm in Orange County. Got a good group of guys I train with in Costa Mesa. Get our throwing done. Park in Newport and throwing bullpens in Irvine. And yeah, it's been good.
Who you throwing with, if you don't mind me asking? If you don't mind revealing it.
Actually a few Angels guys recently. Kenny Rosenberg, who's a minor league Rule 5 this year. He works. We've thrown the same group. Adam Seminaris, who's with the Angels as well. And then like Connor Siebel. It's a good group of guys
Nice.
in this little Costa Mesa area that have been working out together for a while.
That's awesome. Yeah, we had Kenny on right after he got picked up in the Rule 5 draft. So it was good talking
Yeah,
with him. He's a good guy. He knows his
really,
stuff.
really good dude. It's been nice to get to know him.
Yeah, awesome. I'm excited for all you guys. It's so cool. You know, the hometown thing is always something special. So that's kind of the first thing I want to talk about. I mean, you got signed to your hometown team. Were you an Angels fan growing up?
The biggest.
Getting out to a lot of games.
Yeah, we had like the mini plan after the strike in '94. My dad got the mini plan in '95, and so we had like 20 games a year from '95 to, I don't know, maybe we slowed down when I was in high school, but probably we're at 20 some games a year, very consistently. A lot of Tuesday nights, a lot of Big Bang Fridays.
Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's so cool to hear that. You know, I mean,
yeah, it was really cool.
growing up at the stadium, that's awesome. You know,
Yeah,
so
we were actually I was fortunate and got to go to the whole 2002 postseason run too, which was sick. My mom snagged a World Series game and an ALCS game, and my sister grabbed an ALCS game. But other than that, I think I was at every home game, which was cool.
that's so cool. That's awesome to hear that.
Yeah,
I'm excited for you. I know the Angels have kind of made that in a focus a sense. I feel like they've gone out and signed a lot of hometown guys lately, and it's kind of cool to see that with everything, drafted a lot of hometown guys. So
for sure.
super cool to see that. Was it always a dream to play for the Angels, or was it like,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Not really like a question to that, but yes.
It's awesome. Yeah, no, that makes
Yeah.
a lot of sense. So were there a lot of other calls fielded this off season for other teams, or was it
Um,
like, oh, the Angels are calling, I want to go there?
yeah, I spoke with a few clubs, but I was hoping this phone call would come and was very happy when it did.
That's awesome. That's super
Yeah.
cool to hear that. I'm excited. I know a lot of fans are excited when they saw the Northwood Irvine thing going on there. It's pretty cool. So,
Yeah.
so like I said, you drafted twice first out of Northwood in the 10th round, second time out of UCLA in the 6th round. I kind of want to pinpoint UCLA. What did they do different there? They just produce, it seems like. What do they do?
Yeah, our 3 years we were really, 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 really good.
Mhm.
We won a national championship my junior year. I think it's just a very detail-oriented place, and so you may not know a ton going in. I was like, I don't know. I guess I would say I was like a pretty talented high schooler, but didn't really know much about pitching. And going there and working with Coach Savage, kind of like, you become so ingrained with routine and what you need to do to be successful. And we do at the time they worked with Ken Ravisa, who's obviously, a renowned sports psychologist, and he's since passed, but was a tremendous resource for me. And I just think that they ran it it was a tight ship, like no doubt. But because of it, guys learned a lot. And so I think it allows guys, especially when you first get into the minor leagues, other guys are still learning maybe, the value of cross counting with changeups or landing breaking balls or whatever it might be. Those were skills that were required to pitch at UCLA. And so you end up with just, I would say, a little bit higher, maybe not the most talent, but a little bit higher threshold of how good of a true pitcher you really are.
Yeah, I mean, you look back at a lot of UCLA teams, so talented, especially this year, what they were able to haul in.
Yeah, wild.
Unbelievable draft or sign class this year.
Yeah, and
I,
I do know a good amount of those kids, and got to see some of them throw in the alumni game, which is cool. But yeah, no, it's cool to see the program kind of build on itself. And
oh yeah,
those classes before us with Brandon Crawford and then Garrett and Trevor and guys like that. It's just kind of built and built and built, and hopefully they get back to Omaha this year because it's been a little bit, but It's definitely a place that's developing guys the right way.
Yep. Yeah, and I've worked with a lot of those guys, Jump, Schreier, Jay Sarah kids. It's
Hmm.
just a special class. It's special what they
Yeah.
what they got going on down there right now. So
Yeah. It's a
always has
talented
been.
bunch.
Yeah, always has been, always will be. So let's talk about draft day. That's always a special day. Do you remember it very well? I would assume you have to kind of remember it pretty well.
For college, you're saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was super regionals. We were playing against Cal State Fullerton. We were at Fullerton that year. And it was like the start of the 6th round, and I had not gotten any phone calls. And we were sitting down to a witch in Fullerton. Somewhere, I think we we're in Fullerton at a witch. And I got a call from Rex De La Nuez, who was the scout that drafted me with the Reds. And yeah, so I knew at the start of the round I was going to get picked. We were eating lunch, and I knew I had like 10 minutes to get back to the hotel, to flip it on the MLB app and listen to it. And so I was able to listen to it. Obviously, the draft wasn't quite the big deal it is today. Um, but yeah, it was really cool. I had some of my teammates with me in the room because we knew I was going to get picked, and it was a really cool experience. And then we ended up taking the first 2 games of the series. We won that night and won the next night and went to Omaha. So it was a really cool, quick turnaround. And I think that was like the same week as my birthday. So yeah, it was a fun week for me.
That's all. That's really cool. I always like to bring up draft
Yeah.
days just because that's just a special day. Everybody wants to get drafted. So I think that's some of the coolest things to hear that. Same kind of story getting drafted out of high school too. You kind of knew it was happening around in there.
So I personally had just like decided, I know guys remove themselves from the draft now. That wasn't really a thing then, because there was no penalties for unsigned draft picks.
Yeah.
So I had basically told teams that I wanted to go to school, and I had basically told teams that I wanted to go to school. Hello, sorry about that.
You're
I
good. You're
have
good.
this on do not disturb. I don't know what just happened.
No,
So I had told teams that I kind of wanted to go to school, and that was just, UCLA was my dream as a kid. And so I didn't really expect to get phone calls. And then when I got picked, it was pretty cool, obviously, because I kind of figured I wouldn't based on what I'd said. But yeah, it was never really, it wasn't too challenging of a decision for me to decide to go to school at that time. I wasn't ready to be a pro. I didn't know enough. And I really, really, really wanted to go to UCLA.
I bet. I mean, you mentioned before, it's just such a special place there. I mean, they just produce the coaching's top quality. I mean, you guys had you won a national championship, and you were able to grow into the player you are now. I mean, I think that's such a big thing that a lot of people are missing from the high school to college side of things. So, yeah. So let's talk about major league debuts. You've pitched in the pros for a little while. You made your pro debut. What was that like? Is that just unbelievable? Is it different?
Yeah, it was really cool. That was 2018. I had a good 14 and 15, and then missed all of 16 hurt, which was my first time going to big league camp with a chance to make a team. And came back in 17 and threw the ball well. So I got put on the roster that fall, and kind of knew going into camp in 18 that I had a shot, but that it wasn't like a great shot. So I made the team out of camp, was like ecstatic to go to opening day in Cincinnati. It was like Scherzer versus Homer Bailey. It was like, this is big league baseball. And then I got sent down the second day of the year. And so I got called back up like a week later, pitched once, could not have gone any worse. And then it's been a 4-year grind to try to get back there. The moment itself was really cool. My dad was there. I just sucked that night. Like I gave up back-to-back home runs and 6 pitches, and I can tell you, I really don't think I've ever done that at any level until then, including Little League or T-ball or anything like that. So, yeah, I just had a bad night, but overall it was a very cool experience, and it's been a huge motivating factor for me to continue, grinding this out. And I've been released a bunch of times in recent years, and I've just like really put it on myself to continue to improve. And so I think I'm in a much better spot now, and hopefully we'll have an ERA that I can calculate by the end of the year.
I looked at the stats and I was like, I don't want to bring this up, but you pitched in, like, you were the 1%er. So you got to give yourself credit for that. At least I said, I didn't want to bring up the stats. I knew, but you're the
No,
part of the 1%. You pitched in the major league. You stepped on the major league mound at the end of the day.
Yeah. It cut pretty deep for a little bit, but it's, there's been plenty of time to gloss that over and feel a lot better about, the accomplishment in itself, as opposed to, letting the results of one really, really crummy night like dictate your life and self-worth and how you feel about baseball and pitching. So
Yeah.
I went through that phase a little bit, but I'm certainly on the other side of that and very optimistic about what we have laying ahead of us.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'm excited for this year. I think the Angels have done a fantastic job. I think Perry Minasian knows what he's doing in the bullpen. That's been an issue for the Angels in the past. As an Angels fan, you probably know that
Yeah, no.
in recent years. So
Yeah.
it kind of is what it is. But I'm excited for what happens this year. So you played a little indie ball, I think, as well.
Yeah, I got
what's up with that?
after 18, I hurt my oblique in 2018, and really just could not find myself with the Reds that year. Signed with the Twins the next year and just really and did it again in spring. And just I needed to make some mechanical adjustments. And knock on wood, things have been great since then. But it took me some time to find it. So I went through a few mechanical changes that didn't really work. Then it just kind of took me a while. So after I got released in 19, I had to go play. I say had to, but I went to go play in Long Island for the Ducks and wasn't very good there. wasn't getting back into affiliated baseball with the way I was throwing the ball. Was fortunate to get an opportunity again to go to camp with the Indians in 20. But when the COVID year happened, I realized that I needed to keep playing. So I went and played. We did like a month in the Constellation League at Sugarland, where they had like 4 teams play each other in the middle of the pandemic. Which was kind of cool. It was fun. It was a fun month. And then since I didn't have any baseball card stats for a while, by the spring of 2021, it was tough to get a job. So I went out and threw for the Kansas City Monarchs for an outing, and my stuff had ticked up a little bit and was fortunate to get out of there pretty quickly.
Yeah, no, like I said, the story is awesome. I talked again with Braxton Martinez the other day, and his story is kind of the same thing. It's constantly getting opportunities in different places, and being fortunate enough. I mean, indie ball, in a sense, kind of saved probably both of you guys' career. So it's pretty cool to see that, and I'm excited. I always love indie ball. I think it's super cool. It's a great place for a lot of guys to go. So, a couple more questions for you before I let you go.
Cool. It's cool. I will say it's cool. I've been fortunate to not have to do the ridiculous travel of it. It's cool,
Yeah.
but I think you really do have to like apply yourself and take it very seriously if your expectation is to get out of there and get back. I think some guys love playing and it's easy to get into like the feeling like you're going somewhere when you're not.
Yeah.
So I would say the most I enjoyed playing, but I did find it challenging because you're constantly like you expect yourself to be your 110% best self every night to get out of there, and you expect your results to be better than they were in affiliated baseball, and they're not always.
Yeah.
And so that was I thought it's a great place for sure, but it's mentally challenging.
Oh, 100%. I mean, and
Yeah.
we've seen it a lot in the past. I mean, one of the guys, Scott Kazmir, went from professional baseball and Major League Baseball, pitching for the Angels, went to Sugarland, and then found
Mm-hmm.
himself again. I think Rich Hill was kind of that same way, and they just kind of find themselves. So indie ball's like, I think people look down upon it. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. And I mean, you guys, it's proven,
Yeah. No, yeah, not to look down on it at all.
Yeah,
And
no.
it's amazing, and it's amazing that it's there, because what are guys doing? If you get whacked and there's nowhere to go, what are you doing?
Yeah. 100%,
So
100%. So on to a little something different. You're an Olympian, which is
yeah.
super awesome. First Olympian on this show, first Olympian that I've actually probably really talked to. What was that experience like? I mean, I know it was in the middle of a
Yeah.
pandemic, but you're an Olympian.
Yeah. So the qualification process was pretty wild, and it took a lot of years to get to that point, as real baseball was starting down in like the sea pool of European invitationals. And, you're ranked 28th in Europe or whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's a long way from the Olympics. And so, yeah, the whole process was really cool. Guys played in Bulgaria and Lithuania, and then we got, to the B pool, and that was Germany and Italy, and then we graduated, or I guess that's the A pool, and then we graduated that and had to go play Spain, the Netherlands, like good baseball teams, and when we handled them and got an Olympic berth. And so getting to go to Tokyo in the middle of the pandemic was the Tokyo Olympics. They did an amazing job for what they could do,
Yeah.
right? Like the stadium was beautiful, the opening ceremonies was super cool. Was it a bummer that nobody was there? Yes. But was it still like an amazing spectacle watching these athletes from across the world walk out in their different uniforms? And, it was really cool. And probably my favorite part of it was kind of just interacting with people in the village and at the dining halls and stuff. And you're having conversations that are like casual, and then a lot of it is there's a language barrier through a part of it too, and we kind of struggle through the broken English, but uh, it's just like wild to be interacting with, just the elite of the elite. Like I tell this story a lot, but like we were playing ping pong in the rec room, and these girls come into play, and obviously they're very good at ping pong, and it's very obvious they're tennis players. And I'm like, just kind of chit-chatting, asking about their thing. Like, a lot of us are minor league ball players or whatever, and kind of asking about how pro tennis works. And it turns out these girls are ranked like, 8, 15, and 26 internationally. And I just felt like such an idiot, like asking them, like, how are the meals in your minor leagues, like, or whatever it might be. And it was like, no, these are world-renowned tennis players. So, just cool interaction like that was really fun. And then obviously in the minor leagues, you're playing as a team, but a lot of it is for yourself. You'd be lying if you didn't say, the team wins 10-3, but you gave up a 3-run bomb in the 6th. It hurts. But playing in a setting like that where there's no fans, it's literally just your team, and you do not care if you give up the home run. Like, it really is just, we want to win games. I don't care if it's the next guy, me, however this goes, I'll go another day, whatever it is. And getting to play baseball like that, where truly 100% is focused on winning, was a really, really cool feeling.
Yeah, no, 100%. You guys had a hell of a run. Like it was, you weren't expected, obviously, probably to be in the Olympics first off, and then to continue to win. I think everybody was rooting for you, and it was cool because you had a lot of, Ian Kinsler was on the team. Ty Kelly was an Angel, I think, at the time. And you guys just had so many. Eric Falia was on Team USA, but again,
he was on USA.
Yeah, but I mean, you guys had such a, team. Like, it was just super cool to see you guys continue to go, and you guys just unfortunately got hit by a brick wall. But it was awesome to see that. And again, you're an Olympian. That's awesome to see that and hear that. So last question for you before I let you go. What does a successful 2022 look like for you?
I feel good. I feel very, very ready to go. So I'm hopeful that I'll have an opportunity to make this team out of camp. But if not, I expect to contribute to the Angels at some point this year, and think that's kind of I think I've put myself in a position physically, mentally, and ability wise right now to do that. And so I'm pretty optimistic about contributing to a very positive season in Anaheim for the whole club. I think they have made good acquisitions. This team wants to win, and I think it'll be exciting to get to be a part of that in Anaheim, because I remember 2002 and that was really fun.
Yeah, no, a lot of fans remember those early thousands, the mid 2000s, even the early like 2010s, and like that was a lot of fun, and everybody's kind of missing that. I'll let you know right now, and I know you are as well. So as a fan and now as a player, so I'm excited that you were able to sign with the Angels. First off, hometown guy and everything, and again, I appreciate you coming on and talking with me here at Talking Halos. I really, really do appreciate it. Just thank you so much, man.
It's cool. No, it's cool.
Awesome.
I think it's cool that this is a resource for people, adults and kids now. I wish, if when I was 16, it would have been really cool to listen to guys talk about their experience in the organization, and getting to Anaheim would be really cool to listen to. So I think it's cool that you do this and provide that for a lot of people.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you again so much for hopping on here. Guys, watch out for this guy. He's going to be in the major leagues this year. I already know it. I have a very good feeling. Hometown guy, you got to be rooting for him. I know the Angels have done a lot of that in the past. So, guys, thank you so much for listening here at Talking Halos, and have a great rest of your day.